Greetings, salutations, happy Tuesday. It's February the 24th, 2026. A little late out of the gate today, but still here and glad you're here too. Let's take just a few moments and check in with ourselves. It is, I believe, 23 days until the official start of spring in this hemisphere. Happy about that. So basically 3 more weeks. You wouldn't know it if you look outside because the streets here in New York and New Jersey are piles and piles of snow and ice again. But, it's a different quality now because you can kind of see the end. Although I will say there's still snow in the forecast over the next week on a couple of different days. But, again, we're 3 weeks out from the beginning of spring, and so there is a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel here. And boy, is spring going to be sweet this year. So I did mention it to somebody else, and he goes, "I love the snow. It's beautiful." And he's like, "Yeah, you're right. It is pretty. It is pretty." So we'll just lean into that. It is pretty if you're out in the countryside. It is not pretty on the city streets after a while. In fact, yeah, I'm gonna. When I talk to him, I'll push back on that just a tad. Although I like the optimistic point of view. Okay, trivia that you didn't know you couldn't live without. Today's trivia is that on this day in 1938, the nylon toothbrush bristles were made by DuPont. So I don't know if it's nylon now, but I suppose this just means that the modern toothbrush was born almost 100 years ago, 90 years ago, 88 years ago, today. So, and also the second piece of trivia that you didn't know that you absolutely needed is that When You Wish Upon a Star, the song, I suppose, When You Wish Upon a Star, the Disney song, recorded this day in 1940. So there you have it. Your life's transformed. We'll call it a day. No, listen, the reason why I was so late to recording this morning is, and it is still morning technically, is that I had just a really powerful meeting with one of my colleagues. We meet kind of weekly, and it's part of I guess it fits in the networking bucket, but it's the reason why I love doing that more than traditional networking, because when you have a regular meeting, you get to know someone much better. And so today he was telling me a story that he told me before. Now, I'm not criticizing him for telling me a story again. It wasn't forgetfulness. It was a relevant story. But at some point, about a third of the way through the story, I realized that, he had told me this story before, months ago. But because we've been meeting so regularly, we've got to know each other so much better. So I heard the story differently this time. And so I didn't stop him and say, "I've heard it." I just dove in and pulled more. And the story had an even richer meaning this time. And I think, what I'm reflecting on is the power of, choosing and curating those relationships that we invest in, and resisting the temptation to go too big into volume. There's just not enough time for it, frankly. And so being very, very careful. So as I'm getting out there and doing more and more networking, and it's good, I'm enjoying the networking and I'm attending some different groups, but I'm going to be very, very careful about how much of the investment is in that, because I think, balancing that with that individual, real deep relationship building is so important. So it isn't one is right and the other is wrong. I just mean maintaining that balance, and maintaining the balance that works for me as well is really important. So I'm figuring that out with this, which is really, really good. I also want to say that part of the conversation I was having with this person was around, unhelpful mindset moments. I talked about it yesterday. frankly, I was in a foul mood, yesterday morning because of a semi-sleepless night, some anxiety, some thinking, some rumination. And I was able to get over it, and get into action. And I just want to say that action really soothes anxiety. And, the more action, the better. And what I realized this was the realization, was that I had a productive weekend, a great weekend. And because I'm not in as many like business meetings over the weekend, and there's more open time, that idle time, I can use it to rest and recuperate. And I can also be in danger of being out of action and having negative thoughts kind of take over. And so just being aware of that danger and then choosing the action. I mean, we went to the gym over the weekend, but even Sunday morning before the blizzard started, we went to the gym. That was great, but I probably could have managed my time and what I did with that day, even socked in, even not being able to leave, probably manage it better for my own mental health. And so that I didn't descend into some fear-based thinking overnight. So I'm just really watching that, because that is where the game is. It is all in your head. And, I'm being honest about it. I mean, this is the journey. This is not for the faint of heart here, people. Building your own entrepreneurial enterprises can feel like you're out in the wilderness sometimes. And, if you're not kind of strong mentally, boy, it's impossible to get through it. So really, really grateful for great relationships and the ability to connect with others and listen to them and gain knowledge from other people, and manage the mental garden as we go along. So what can you do to manage your mental garden? Pull some weeds and plant some better vegetables, at least for today. That's the question. I hope that's helpful to you. It's certainly where I'm at. As always, be good to yourself and others. Thanks, as always, for listening. And we will check back again with you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.